Hey guys, it's Dan from Shasta Bubba Adventures, and today I'm out for an overnight trip. I'm afraid I can't tell you exactly where I'm at though. This is a hike that a good buddy of mine told me about, and he told me about it on condition that I not make a video naming the lakes that I'm hiking to. But I can tell you that I'm in the Mission Mountains in Montana. This is the trailhead. Gotta love that. This reminds me of the good old days when you could go to a remote place and there wouldn't be anybody there. This is a Thursday in the middle of August. We had some rain to clear out the smoke and a little bit of cool weather, so I'm really happy about the timing of that. And look at this. Starting right out. Little bear sign. The berries are ripe, so we'll see if we see any more of that. So we're really excited for this trip. Let's go see what it looks like. The trail starts out on what some people call a trode, which is an old road that's become a trail. And in fact, this goes on for almost 3.5 miles before you get to the actual old trailhead. The GPS is pretty necessary on a trip like this, or at least very good maps, because there are no signs at all anywhere, not even at the trailhead, to identify it. And this is one of the major trail junctions with no signage at all. Well, it's noon and I've just now got to the end of the trode walking and the start of the original trail, and it certainly looks like I've got my work cut out for me. One aspect of going to places where not many people go is they're pretty slow to do trail maintenance, so this might be a bit of a slog. Trail is getting rougher and steeper and more overgrown the higher I get. I'm 8 miles in, and this is the first time that the forest has opened up enough to let me get a look around, possibly where I'm headed, and it looks pretty cool. Coming down off that ridge, unfortunately I have to lose almost 1,000 feet of elevation gain before climbing it right back up again. And also, unfortunately, the trail maintenance really has subsided. There's quite a bit of deadfall to work my way around and over. This is the start of the big climb at the end. According to my GPS, it's 1,000 feet up in 1 mile to get up into that high basin where the lakes are. Well, I can finally see where I'm headed. Looks like the trail's gonna wind around this basin and up through that gap. Can't wait to see what's through there. And this is what's through that gap. First lovely little tarn. And here is the lower of our mystery lakes, if you don't count the little tarn. And here is the upper lake. Things got dark all of a sudden, and I got a little nervous that there was some thunder showers rolling in, as predicted. So I threw the tent up as quick as possible, just in case, and so far it's holding off, but I think it is about to sprinkle a bit. Well, I didn't bring my stove since this is just an overnight trip, so I'm just having summer sausage and a Triscuit and some manchego cheese that I cut up before I left. And let me tell you, it's tasting pretty darn good, way better than a freeze-dry meal would. And I'm really glad that I did plan to eat cold because of the conditions. If it did start to rain, it'd be pretty convenient to be able to just jump into the shelter and not have to worry about cooking with a stove next to the shelter or in the shelter. So looks like about 11 miles for the day, and of course the big factor was coming off that ridge added a whole another 1,000 feet, so it ended up being 4,000 feet of elevation gain, which, let me tell you, I'm feeling it in my hip flexors. But this is an awesome place. I've looked around both lakes and I am completely alone here, which doesn't much get a whole lot better than that, to have such an awesome, beautiful spot all to yourself. So I gotta say thanks to my buddy for cluing me into this spot. Alright, that's it for tonight. Just pop a little Advil and hit the sack. Hopefully a good night's sleep and head back out in the morning. Ought to be some beautiful views as the sun's coming up from the other side. So looking forward to that. I'll see you tomorrow. Well, I'm glad I got the shelter up when I did, because it is raining now. I actually had just enough time to go down and make a couple casts on the lake, and would you believe it, I actually caught a fish. first ever backpacking, I think. But of course it did get off the hook before I landed it, so I don't know if I can completely count that. Looked to be about a 6 to 8 incher, nothing trophy wise, but still I'm pretty thrilled with that. Probably going to have to take the time to do a little fishing in the morning, see if I can push my luck. Well, good morning. Rained off and on last night, sometimes pretty hard, enough to wake the dead. But surprisingly, I had a pretty good night's sleep. I think the secret is I've started taking a Benadryl before I go to bed, and doesn't keep me from waking up at times like that, but I seem to get to back to sleep a lot quicker. So that's kind of an interesting experiment and seems to be paying off so far. The downside is that I seem to want to sleep in the morning. So up at 7:30 and on the trail at 9. A little later than normal, but I don't have a huge day. It's only the 11 miles back out. And other than the 1,000 feet that I have to climb back up on that ridge, it's all downhill. So that should go pretty easy, or well, I don't know about easy, but since there was so much rain, everything is drenched, and I am too. Sometimes you just got to suck it up and do what you got to do, and that's probably what it's going to be this morning. This is just a beautiful morning, though. Just so gorgeous, watching the mist rise off the lake. It's just awesome. All right, hate to leave this place, but we got to go, so let's go. Back into the steep uphill with the horrendous deadfall. Well, I finally made it to the top of that 1,000 foot elevation gain, and that took a bit out of me, but it's all downhill from here. Well, I've just got a couple of miles left to go, and it's all heavily wooded forest, so not much to see. Figured I might as well do the wrap up now. So overall, I'd have to say that was a fantastic place to get to, but an awful lot of work to get there. I'm going to officially label this trail very strenuous. Between the elevation gain and loss and all of the deadfall to work your way around, and also just it's unbelievably steep in a lot of places. I really I'm not very happy with whoever the engineer was who designed this trail. It seems like it could have been done a whole lot better. So ultimately, it's an awesome place. Very hard to get to though, and there's other awesome places that are not quite as hard to get to. So I don't think I'm going to have to fight very hard to keep my friend's secret. I think the secret is pretty safe. Alright everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.